You are the Stargate. I know exactly how to activate it. So, they told you that the heart is just a pump, that it moves blood and nothing more, but that is not true. Your heart is actually an electromagnetic stargate for the soul. It is a living portal to and from higher dimensions. I've been shown exactly how to activate the Stargate. The final key, the missing phase of an ancient practice has been revealed to me. So, if you're ready to shift into 5D, not in theory, but in embodied actual physical energy, then keep watching this video. I'm going to show you exactly what this Stargate is and how you can open it. So, first thing that you need to know is that your heart is not a pump. So it's physically impossible for the heart to pump blood throughout your whole body. I mean, I put a link below. It takes a while to explain it, but even if you take out all of the mystical, spiritual aspects of it, from a physical, scientific perspective, the heart can't pump blood throughout your whole body. So what is it doing? What it's doing is it is actually an electromagnetic toroidal field centered here. And the heart is actually magnetically pulling and releasing the blood. So the electromagnetic energy is what's moving the blood through the body, not the heart. More importantly is that you've been taught that your physical body is created inside your mother and it's like a machine and it turns itself on and it's alive. And then somehow your soul gets plopped down in the middle of it and now it's trapped inside this physical body and the soul can't escape until the physical body either is destroyed or runs out of energy as it gets old, and then the soul goes flying out. That's what you experience. That's what you've been taught, but that's not what's happening. What's happening is that your physical body is created, but it has to be activated. And what ends up happening is that your soul comes into the heart through a portal, a stargate. And the soul is continuously projecting itself into the heart. The moment that the soul stops projecting itself into the heart center, the body dies. You think the body dies, then the soul is released. No, the soul is continuously putting life into the body. So the experience that some people have is that this life is horrible and I can't leave. That is just even though it feels real, I'm not trying to minimize it. Life can be very challenging and painful. Trust me, I know. I'm just like you. But the truth of the matter is that your soul is choosing to, every second, every moment, project itself into this stargate, and that's what keeps your body alive. The moment your soul said, I'm done, and left, the body would die. So we have to switch our understanding. So what is really going on here? What is this stargate all about? How can we activate it even more fully? That's what we're going to talk about. So the soul is coming into your heart. Your heart is not a pump. It is a stargate for your soul into the third dimension. The soul enters 3D through the heart stargate and creates an electromagnetic field. The heart uses the soul's electromagnetic field to energize the blood, which nourishes the soul container, the body. So this is what keeps you alive, not the heart pumping oxygen. Turns out that oxygen and electromagnetic energy are actually closely associated. So what happens is your soul is in there and it creates this electromagnetic toroidal field and the blood moves through there like a way station. It goes and releases the electromagnetic energy into the tissues, comes back in, gets re-energized, goes back. That's all that the heart is doing. That's physically. So this is amazing to me. Your soul is keeping you alive at every given moment. So the heart uses the soul's electromagnetic field to energize the blood, which nourishes the soul container, or your physical body. Normally, the soul can only watch what happens in the third dimension until now. So the way that this game works, this physical 3D video game, the way that it works is your soul, which is a very powerful deity. In fact, you wouldn't have been allowed to choose to incarnate in this physical body if you weren't among the most powerful of gods in the multiverse. Many scriptures say this, that the angels look and wish that they could become human. Why can't they? They're not as powerful as you. So you came here to be in this video game, which is about teaching the soul to become even more powerful. So in order for that to happen, you have this illusion that you're isolated, you're trapped, and you don't remember who you were before you came here, and you have to struggle through. And so the soul sits in the center of the body, in the heart, and it is surrounded by this very powerful, extremely powerful, higher dimensional electromagnetic field. And the soul sits there. And the soul is sitting there watching this play go on. Now, the soul knows what the best course of action is, but the soul doesn't have any power. So what happens is, if we live a spiritual life through meditation, through spiritual focus, through wanting to live a spiritual life, then we are more likely to listen to our soul, which sits in the throne inside this energetic toroidal field, and it can guide us. The soul can tell us what is the best course of action, because the soul knows. Now, whether or not we listen, that's a whole other thing, and thus creates the drama. So the soul is there watching a movie, and either it's going to be this incredible drama where the protagonist goes and overcomes all kinds of impossible obstacles and then wins the day, and yay! Or the ego steps in, and because of attachment, fear, selfishness, greed, lack of belief, lack of trust in the universe, the person won't listen to the soul, will deny the soul, and will do opposite destructive things. And then the soul gets to watch this comedy or this tragedy. Either way, the soul is being entertained watching us, and the soul is learning. It is an experiment. And normally that's how it's been until now. And now the soul is being given the ability to flip on this Stargate to the next level and actually come into the third dimension. And when that happens, now we're talking superhero movie. Would you like to be in a superhero movie? I can tell you exactly how to do that. So if the heart Stargate is fully activated, the higher dimensional electromagnetic field expands into 3D space-time, and the soul can do miracles. Now, there are certain energy gates in the body that must be activated for the soul to expand into the third dimension. So I'll show you one of them right now. I think it's called pericardium 6 in traditional Chinese medicine, and it's right here. And this is a gate. It is a very powerful energy gate, and it goes directly to the toroidal field, the higher dimensional lightning energy that surrounds the soul. And this can move up, or it can actually send energy out the hands. And there are practices, very simple movements and practices that can actually flip these energy gates on to release and create more and more energy. So you might be thinking, well, if I flip this gate on and then all this energy comes out into my hands, then I'm reducing all of the energy in the toroidal field, right? Except for one thing. This is a Stargate. And this Stargate is constantly projecting higher dimensional electromagnetic energy into the heart. So the more energy that you release out of this gate consciously, the more higher dimensional energy is projected into the heart. What does that mean? You can create a toroidal field of higher dimensional electromagnetic energy that continues to expand and continues to get stronger and stronger. I can show you how to do that. So when activated, these energy gates can be used to project the unlimited toroidal field of the soul outside of the body. Until now, a person could just, the only thing they could do was to become aware that the soul was watching the third dimensional show. But now humans are being given the secret techniques that release the soul out of the body to shift 3D into 5D. So I want you to really understand the significance of this. Your soul is a higher dimensional being. It is surrounded by this higher dimensional electromagnetic energy that is actually powering the whole body. So just at level 0, this battery will keep the body alive unless you do something to, screw that up. So that's just when it's just at level 0. But when you flip the switch on, then this Stargate, which has access to infinite amounts of higher dimensional energy, releases that energy through the body. And if you have conscious control over this energy, put 2 and 2 together, what could you accomplish? One of the things is higher dimensional energy becomes transmitted through you. Your heart right now is a Stargate, a very limited Stargate that allows the body to stay alive and your soul to just be here and watch what's going on. But if you flip it on to a higher level, then this unlimited higher dimensional energy becomes projected onto the third dimensional screen, which means what? The third dimensional space-time screen must shift. It'll become overwhelmed with higher dimensional energy and it will shift to a higher frequency. It'll become the new world and it will come through you if you know how to turn it on. I can show you how to do that. So the Stargate has 2 components: the spirit, which is the king, and the protector, which is the queen. So the spirit king is called the Shen, and the queen protector is called the Shi. So the Shi is the energy. It's actually called the Shin Bao, and it's a goddess. Now this has been watered down over time, but originally in traditional Taoist and Chinese medicine, the heart protector, or the queen, the empress, she was this fire energy. It was actually lightning energy. And she was the most powerful energy in the universe. And she was surrounding the emperor, who's the king, the Shen, your soul. And understanding this brought health to the body. But it becomes much more interesting when we start looking into how to activate these energies. So the Spirit King is called the Shen, and the Queen Protector is called the Shi. Now normally, these energies sit next to each other in harmony and watch the 3D show. They actually don't sit next to each other, but they're just doing their thing. He's sitting in the throne, watching the show. She's surrounding him with her field, protecting him. She's doing 2 things. She's protecting the third dimension from higher dimensional energies, because if higher dimensional energies leak into the third dimension has to shift. So that wasn't the game. The game wasn't designed to do that. So she didn't do that. She just kept her energy surrounding him, protecting him from the harshness of the third dimension, and he could watch what was going on. And if you wanted to know what your soul wanted, the soul would tell you, okay, take this action, do this, here's what's important. And if you didn't listen, you would bumble along and the soul would sit there and watch the show. Now that has all changed. The Shen watches the person's life unfold, and the She surrounds the Shen with her extremely powerful higher dimensional lightning energy to keep him safe. But if the Shen, the masculine, and the She, the feminine, were actively combined, the result would create unlimited power. Think about this for a second. What happens? What happens when you mix masculine and feminine? You get a child. Life is created. Do you realize the amount of energy that takes? Now we're talking about spiritual energy. What would happen if inside of your body, this Stargate that has access to unlimited higher dimensional energy, what if it were activated in such a way that the She and the Shen actually came together? The energy that would be released would be explosive. There would be nothing like it. We've never seen anything like it. This is why these practices have been kept secret for thousands of years. So sorcerers have been experimenting for thousands of years with practices to release the full power of the She in the body. But those practices have been kept secret until now. The Mao Shan sorcerers were the only Taoists brave enough to combine these two energies. So I've been practicing this for over 30 years. When I first started learning it, I didn't know anything. I didn't know the difference between Taoism and Buddhism. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just stumbled onto this private class that was by invitation only, and I wasn't allowed to tell people what I was doing. And I learned all this stuff, and I was so curious. I knew that it was Taoist because they called it the Tao, and it was Mao Shan. Mao Shan was a Taoist sect, the earliest, the original Taoist sect. So I went and said, I'm going to go find out more about this. And I went to Chinese people. I said, hey, I'm practicing this Mao Shan. They go, you can't do that. That's evil. They asked me things like, do you poke pins into dolls and kill people? What? No. I went to a Taoist temple. And I went there and I talked to the abbot. I wanted to find out about his meditations. I was feeling so much power and energy. I wanted to know more about it. I said, I've just been practicing Tao for a little while. And he goes, oh, really? What kind? I said, Mao Shan. His face went white. He says, that's evil. Demons will jump inside your body. You have to stop doing that. And then he closed his doors and wouldn't let me in. He wouldn't even talk to me. He wouldn't even look me in the face. I went back to my teacher and I said, what's going on? What's wrong with these people? He's laughed and he said, you can't be telling other Taoists that you'd practice this. They're afraid of it. But the truth is that throughout the centuries, whenever the other Taoist monasteries, let's say there was a ghost attack or a demon attack, guess who they called? They called the Mao Shan to come and fight the evil. Why? Because the amount of energy, the electromagnetic energy, the higher dimensional energy that they could channel through their bodies would destroy any negativity. You could fight off demons, you could fight off ghosts, you could fight off people. So these practices were based on a very simple form called the Sifu hands, which activates a powerful energy gate in the wrists. And all of the butterfly hands practices that we do, this is combining the power of the Shen and the She. So you may have seen me in previous videos, I've been showing you these practices. Very simple. Very simple to do. But now you know, if you've watched the practical applications, you've seen the power of this. And so what's happening in those practical applications is that I am allowing this higher dimensional energy out of my hands. And you've seen, listen, I'm almost 62 years of age. And my hands are faster than anybody that I've seen other than the teachers that I've worked with. And the power that is released is unbelievable. I'm in those demonstrations, I'm holding back. I'm only letting probably 5% of the energy come out just so that the student can feel it. And so you can imagine the kind of power that is released. But I never break a sweat. I never get out of breath. I'm working harder now, talking nonstop, than I am when I do the practices. That's because what's happening is that I am channeling through certain energy gates in my hands. I am channeling this energy of the combined force of the Shi, which is the electromagnetic energy, and the Shen, the masculine and feminine, come together, create, and then release unlimited higher dimensional energy through my hands. Now, when you take it to higher levels, it comes out the third eye. And you can only imagine what happens after that. This is what I am here to help you learn. So, I've been shown how to activate the full power of the heart-mind Stargate to release the Shi and create 5D on this earth. I am now fully dedicating the rest of my life to teaching the practices of activating the heart-mind Stargate to channel 5D energies to create the new 5D earth. This is what has now been revealed to me. I've been communicating directly with higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. As you know, if you followed my channel, I've found out that these beings are not, in fact, many of them I thought were physical beings that lived on other planets and came here and were traveling around. And I've come to find out that many of them allow themselves to be seen this way so that we can understand them. But the truth is, they're non-physical, purely spiritual beings. What's more is that these practices that you see me do, I didn't invent them. I was taught them. But the people that created these exercises actually were being channeled the information from these higher dimensional beings. And people have been using it and working with it for different reasons and different purposes based on the time that they lived in. But now we are in the shift. And what has now been a secret practice that couldn't even be mentioned in public because it was so powerful and people were so frightened of it. It is now, and this is coming from the higher dimensional beings, they want me to release this and give it to you so that you can open the Stargate within your body and that you can release unlimited higher dimensional electromagnetic energy onto this 3D earth plane. And so when we are doing this, the earth plane must shift to a higher dimension. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. I wouldn't. So I have created resources for you so that you can have access to this. So let me share with you how you can go through this. So if you want to feel this energy, because I wouldn't believe me if I were you. So I want to get this energy into your hands as easily as possible so you can feel it. So if you're just starting out with this Mao Shan energy, then there are a few places you can go. There's the 90-day Warrior Lightning Qigong. That can be found here at thunderwizard.com. If you go there and click on memberships, if you click on memberships, then you will see Warrior 90-day Lightning Qigong. Subscribe there. There is practices in there that will open up not only the heart-mind energy, but open up your meridians. Now, your meridians have to be able to be expanded to handle the energy. So that's what the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong is. And it's very affordable. Anybody can do it. Sign up now, you'll find out. We have the small quantum butterfly hands. Now that is free with the Lightning Qigong. So you see here in this video, I'm not showing you the whole thing. I'm doing a little tiny piece of one of the butterfly hands. And you can see just by looking at that, this pericardium 6 point on the wrist, this has a direct connection to the Shi. So as you release the Shi, more higher dimensional energy comes through your body. So the more that you do these practices, the more that you do the Sifu hands, you are actually releasing this energy. And one side of your body is masculine, the other side is feminine. So when you're doing these motions, what's happening? The masculine and feminine higher dimensional energies are combining, and the power that is released is, well, it's infinite. It all depends on you. Now here's where we find a difference between the Mao Shan, what I'm going to go ahead and call Qigong, as opposed to the normal Qigong that you do. Now I know I've called a lot of my stuff Qigong because that's the phrase people understand. Oh, nobody knows what Qigong is. So I use the term that people understand. But normally, with Qigong, what you have to do is you have to absorb life force energy, the Qi, you absorb it into your navel, and you don't want to release too much. You want to absorb more and more. And so it is the exact opposite with the Shi, the heart mind. This energy, when you release it, it is automatically replaced. So you flow the energy through you. And the more that you release, the more energy flows through you. You never run out. So the more that you do these sets, the more that you do the butterfly hands or the 5 elements or the awakening the immortals, the more that you do that, the more of this higher dimensional energy comes through. Now your body is going to have to adjust. You're going to have to rest so that your body and your meridians can expand. But the energy is unlimited. And this world has seen nothing like it yet. So you can go to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, and in there at the phase 3, you'll find the small quantum butterfly hands. You can also get the Awakening the Immortals Qigong. Now, if you just want to test me out, you're like, I don't know, I'm not going to commit to some subscription, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Then what you do is you go to the shop. You go here to thunderwizard.com and you click on the menu where it says shop. You will see the Summoning the Immortals Qigong. It's actually Qigong. And this is such a powerful practice. People have done it and said that when they've done it that ETs have appeared. So I can't make that promise for you, but I do know that if you do the practice, higher dimensional beings will show up and will help you if you're open to that. And you'll feel the energy. And the whole reason that I created that forum was so that people could feel how powerful this heart-mind energy was. And in that form, I'm consciously connecting these pericardium 6 together, and we're doing, what we call the Sifu hands in multiple ways to release this energy. So once you've proven to yourself that this is real, which I challenge you to do, don't take my word for anything, then move on to the other practices. So these practices will help anyone experience the Shin, the heart mind. If someone wants to feel the concentrated 6D energy, then move on to the intermediate practices. So once you've done the Summoning the Immortals or the Quantum Butterfly that I teach you at thunderwizard.com, once you've felt that and you've got the energy and you want more, then move on to the intermediate practices, which we have no shortage of. So the intermediate practices are the 5-element spirit fighting sets. So to get that, you can go 2 places. You can go here to maoshan.thunderwizard.com, scroll down, and you will see the Mao Shan 5-element spirit fighting practices. You can get the whole thing there and get started. If you're on a budget, then go to thunderwizard.com, click on shop, and you'll see the 5 elements, and you can get them one at a time. So if you want to, you can start with the wood element. Now the wood element just by itself is enough because it's pure. It's actually a combination of qi and shi. So it's very good. It's a good way to get started, and it's very user friendly. But once you want to go beyond that, then you have to get the rest of the elements and work through them, because then you have to work through all 5 elements. And now you'll be into some very powerful, higher dimensional energy. This is, by the way, beyond anything that I've ever seen anywhere else. So even what I'm calling, the entry-level intermediate practices are more powerful and more advanced than anything I've seen in any other martial art, external or internal. And I challenge anybody to go find out for themselves. So that's, you can go there if you want to go intermediate. I would recommend getting the first set, Butterfly Hands of Creation. Now this is a standalone set with both the left and the right hand butterfly. This is free, however, with the purchase of the Spirit Fighting first set. So you can either go one at a time, or you can get the whole thing. If you're ready to go and start learning the first set, you'll get one of the butterflies there. You already have the small quantum butterfly. Tons of stuff, right? This is how you do it. And I'm happy to continue to guide you in all of these practices. We're going to be doing a lot more live seminars, more in-person teachings. I'm going to be uploading stuff into the Mao Shan Level 1, which you can find at thunderwizard.com. Again, that is only for people who have done the 5 elements or above, because then I'm going to get into some specifics about that. And so you need to learn that before you can get to that level. So anyway, the first set, the Spirit Fighting first set, which can only be found at maoshan.thunderwizard.com. I'm going to call that like the higher level intermediate, but now we're getting into real power. So I've actually done some more. I've actually created and perfected that set. I haven't uploaded it yet. I'll talk about that more, but you have to start at least with that level of the first set, which I have there at maoshan.thunderwizard.com. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. Now you're going to be playing with real power. And then we can even go beyond that. This is the Mao Shan Advanced. So these are things that are going to be released soon at maoshan.thunderwizard.com. The Advanced First Spirit Fighting set. So as I said, I've improved and completed that first set. I'll upload that. That'll be, I'm going to put that in the Advanced section. Whoops. And the second Spirit Fighting set, also called the Mirror set, it contains the full quantum butterfly, and so it's also called the Butterfly set. Now, when you get into that set, you're gonna, there's nothing I can say that will make any sense, but when you start doing that set, you're actually going from one side of reality to the other. You're going through the mirror, you're going into the spirit beyond the veil, and you're coming back into your body. And when you do that set, both halves of the brain, both sides of the body, and of course the Shin power is released exponentially more. Each time you go up a level, the energy increases exponentially. So anyway, I could go on and on about how powerful it is, but you can find out for yourself. And then we have the third Spirit Fighting set, which is called the Immortal Fist. It's also called the Assassin set. And it's a set that if you perfect it, you will have an out-of-body experience, and a spirit will come and teach you the other half of the set. I had this happen to me with the fire set, so it can happen with any of these sets. Fire set, I had that same thing, kind of thing happen. I had an out-of-body experience, and there was a spirit being there because I had mastered the fire set. And then we have a couple more sets which are very advanced. The Spirit Fist set, which is actually a very simple set, but if you master that, you will gain spiritual powers. And then we have the Dark Warrior of the North set, which is a very powerful deity. It's a short set, but it opens you and connects you directly to this very powerful Taoist God, which will give you more and more power. So this is what I'm here to give to the whole world. The way you get started, you can go a couple different places. You can go to thunderwizard.com, click on shop, and do the Summoning the Immortals. Very inexpensive, anybody can do it. Then if you feel the power and you want to go further than that, you go here to maoshan.thunderwizard.com and you get the 5-element spirit fighting sets. If you can't afford all 5 of them, then you can go to thunderwizard.com, click on shop, and you can get each one of the sets individually. Then go back to maoshan.thunderwizard.com and get the first set, get the different butterfly sets that I'm going to be putting up there. I'll have other things that are there. Once you've gotten the 5-element spirit fighting, then go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the Mao Shan level 1. I'm going to be uploading videos every month, multiple videos teaching you different tips and tricks, telling you about the history, telling you about the art, telling you about the energy, and and then we're going to expand into live seminars and trainings and those kinds of things. So there you go, my friends. I am releasing all of this to you if you want it. So for more information, you know exactly where to go. You can leave questions in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. And that's it for now. A lot more to come. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves. I will see you very soon.